All the new international standards talk about risk-based thinking. So what we're going to do here is a quick example, some practical tips and tricks on ISO 9001 risk-based thinking and how it applies to a process. Stay tuned. So we've had a question from one of our great subscribers out there, and thank you for hitting the subscribe button here on our YouTube channel. We've had a question or one of the comments below one of our videos to ask for some more in-depth understanding and some more practical examples around how to apply risk-based thinking to a process. So what I'm going to do is do a quick example for you here across the whiteboard to give you some thoughts around how to frame it up. So the first obviously is process steps. And if you think about this as a service industry and you think about your customers, so you've got customer check-in, you've got service provision, and you might have the financial part or the customer payment. And you can make your process steps much more detailed. So under obviously the customer check-in or the service provision, the work that you're doing, you're going to have a few more steps, 2 or 3, but we're going to keep it really simple. So we're doing a table, and we're going to turn this obviously into a risk register, if you like, and what we're starting to think about is what are the things that could go wrong. So let's call them risks. And I like to start, when we're thinking about risks, with what could upset a customer. So at the customer check-in over here in any business, it could be the wait. It could be can't get in contact. It could be anything around customer check-in process, which could be not right service, not correct service. So what we're starting to do is, okay, these are all the sorts of things, starting point that we could upset the customer. In the service provision, there might be things that while they won't immediately upset the customer, they could be something wrong. So it could be, it could be breaking the law. So you might be breaking a law or a standard or a breach or a non-compliance, but the customer won't know about it. So, a house could be incorrectly built, for example. The customer who's living in the house, they won't know that the house has been incorrectly built, if you're a builder. So there's breaking the law. There's industry standards. So are there any basic industry standards that your service needs to comply with, like ISO standards, for example? And then there's the other parts of the service provision, which is, anything that relates to, time, and lead times. Customers, it's taking too long, it's taking too long. Could be cost, could be, how the service is provided. So anything here that's going to make your customer feel violated. And then obviously in the customer payment, is there anything in terms of how we charge, apart from obviously the price, but how we charge that might upset the customer? Like for example, the customer standing there with a credit card ready to pay you, but you didn't tell them up front that you don't accept credit cards. So it could be payment method, it could be terms. So for example, some customers, and particularly in the business to business space, lots of customers are used to, 30, 60, 90-day terms, and you give them an invoice that says COD. So you're a factory, you're manufacturing stuff, and the customer can't have their equipment until they pay for it, and it needs to be paid for to be released. But that wasn't talked about up front. And then what we do is we start to prioritize these things. And to keep this really simple, I won't go into risks in this video, but we say low, medium, or high. So of each of these things here, are they a low, medium, or high risk? And so you could use a measure here that says, well, how upset will the customer be? Well, if they've got to wait, they'll be low, not very upset. But if they can't get in contact, it could be high. Because if your customers can't get in contact with you, it could be a business. Not the correct service, that's obviously high, because they're not going to pay you for something they didn't want. Breaking the law, that's high. Industry standards, that's maybe medium. Time, maybe that's low. Cost, that's low potentially. Payment method might be low. They'll still figure out how to pay you. Payment terms might be high. So in risk-based thinking about a process here, we can start to understand that we've got some, the process steps, if we like, down here. We've got our risks up here, and then we've got our rating. Now, I'm not going to go any further into this. If we added another column over here, and I've run out of space because we've got this great best practice branding for all the ISO standards that we do. So we're talking about quality assurance here in this example, but there's other types of risk management standards, environmental management, data security, OH&S up there. If we were to extend this spreadsheet over here, we would add our controls. And if you've watched any of our other YouTube videos, in this column, and it obviously applies to all of these, all the way down, in this column we're talking about who, what, when, where, how. Why because we had a process step that had a potential issue that could go wrong. And this is all about risk-based thinking, preventative strategies, so things don't go wrong. So I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get more of this great free content that's coming out to you. But more importantly, check out www.bestpracticecertification.com.au, and there's a lot of great stuff there, including a whole bunch of great training courses you can buy. I'll see you soon, next time right here, when you subscribe to Best Practice TV. Bye for now.